In the early hours of February 25th, 1942, a mysterious object was sighted in the skies over Los Angeles. Over 1,400 rounds of anti-aircraft ammunition would be pumped into the sky in an attempt to bring it down, but by daylight, no trace of any enemy attack could be found. In the months following the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, public outrage and paranoia intensified across the country, and especially on the West Coast. The possibility of a Japanese attack or invasion was viewed as extremely realistic. Numerous West Coast and Alaska cities imposed blackouts in response to rumors of Japanese ships and submarines patrolling nearby. Reports of several merchant ships attacked by Japanese submarines off the West Coast contributed to the paranoia. On the 23rd of February 1942, a Japanese submarine attacked the Elmwood oil field near Santa Barbara, California. Although damage was minimal and there was no loss of life, the public was convinced the Japanese were going to storm the beaches any day. The next day, the Office of Naval Intelligence warned that an attack on mainland California could be expected within the next 10 hours. Around 2:25 the following morning, air raid sirens sounded throughout Los Angeles County. A total blackout was ordered, and thousands of air raid wardens were summoned to their positions. Military radar picked up what appeared to be an enemy contact 120 miles west of Los Angeles. Troops manned anti-aircraft guns and began sweeping the skies with searchlights. Just after 3 a.m., the shooting started. Reports of an unidentified object in the sky led troops in Santa Monica to unleash anti-aircraft and machine gun fire. It wasn't long before the rest of the troops joined in. The Los Angeles Times later wrote, quote, "Powerful searchlights from countless stations stabbed the sky with brilliant probing fingers, while anti-aircraft batteries dotted the heavens with beautiful, if sinister, orange bursts of shrapnel." It appeared that Los Angeles was under attack, yet when anyone looked up, all they could see was smoke and machine gun fire. Coastal Artillery Corps Colonel John G. Murphy later wrote, quote, "Imagination could have easily disclosed many shapes in the sky in the midst of that weird symphony of noise and color. But cold detachment disclosed no planes of any type in the sky, friendly or enemy." While the military could not see any objects, the public had a very different reaction. Reports poured in from across the city, describing Japanese aircraft flying in formation, dropping bombs and enemy paratroopers. It was reported that a Japanese aircraft crash-landed in the streets of Hollywood. One artilleryman later wrote, quote, "I could see 6 planes, and shells were bursting all around them." Naturally, all of us fellows were anxious to get our 2 cents worth in, and when the command came, everybody cheered like a son of a gun. The barrage lasted for over an hour. Once the final all clear had been issued, over 1,400 rounds of ammunition had been fired into the sky at something. By the light of day, however, it was apparent there had in fact been no enemy attack. A statement from the Army's Western Defense Command read, quote, "Although reports were conflicting and every effort is being made to ascertain the facts, it is clear that no bombs were dropped and no planes were shot down." In fact, the only damage from the battle was friendly fire. Anti-aircraft shrapnel had rained down on the city, shattering windows and ripping through buildings. No serious injuries were reported from the artillery blasts. However, 5 people died as a result of heart attacks and car accidents that occurred during the blackout. In the aftermath, government and media reports differed over the incident that became known as the Battle of Los Angeles. Secretary of the Navy, Frank Knox, dismissed the firefight as a false alarm brought about by, quote, "jittery nerves." Secretary of War Henry Stimson, however, agreed with Army reports that at least 15 planes had flown over the city. He even advanced the theory that the aircraft may have been commercial aircraft operated by enemy agents. While Stimson later retracted his claims, there was still the matter of thousands of reports of craft flying over the city. An editorial in the New York Times reported witness accounts of a big floating object resembling a balloon, while others had spotted anywhere from 1 plane to several dozen. The article went on to state, quote, "The more the whole incident of the early morning of February 25th in the Los Angeles district is examined, the more incredible it becomes." So what caused the shootout? Japanese military later claimed it had never flown aircraft over the city during the war. This led to conspiracy theories surrounding a secret government craft and even extraterrestrials. The most logical explanation is something more down to earth. Radar was still in its infancy at the time, and that, compared with some trigger-happy servicemen, led to a false alarm. In 1983, 40 years after the incident, the Office of Air Force History noted that weather balloons had been released prior to the incident to determine wind conditions. Their lights and silver color could have triggered the alerts. Once someone started firing, everyone else joined in, thinking they were under attack.